And all I can do with black people is just make suggestions, because I ain't got no authority over them either. Only people who have authority over black people are white people, the white supremacists. So I can't make black people do nothing. See, we have to understand. If you don't understand white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else that you understand will confuse you. And we are confused. Worldwide, Brazil, Morocco, anywhere you find black people, you're going to find some confused people.
What you just said, that no black person has the ability to make another black person do something. White people are the ones who have authority over black people. Just
yeah, and when I'm all up in another black person's face talking about what you better do for black people, I might as well go to the white person and ask, because that's who he's got to ask. You can't make nothing happen. You know. So, when black people jumping on each other about this not being done and that being done, I mean, you're talking to the wrong person. I knew that when I was on, when I first got on jobs, wouldn't it? I'm sitting up here on the EEO, and the lady who's the so-called head of the EEO, she said, well, Mr. Fuller, now, we have to go through channels. I said, wait a minute. Let's strip this down to plain English. What does that mean? She said, well, this has to be approved. Approved by whom? Well, by, Mr. Daly. Who's Mr. Daly? It's always somebody white. I say, oh, okay. In other words, we're just a committee of beggars sitting here in this room. We can't make no decision about nothing.
Did the other non-white people who were on the committee with you, did they understand that?
No. And to this day, even when black people are doing it, they don't understand that that's what they're doing. They say, well, we made the decisions. I mean, we went around the table and we had a lot of different views and a lot of different arguments, but I can say that we made progress today because we finally made our consensus. And everybody shakes their hands and all like that. Everybody feels great about themselves. So, we finally came to it. But what they really finally came to is that they agreed on a proposal that they were going to take to a white person or a committee of white people who were going to make the final decisions. But they didn't say that. They didn't even say that to themselves. But that was the truth of the matter, over and over again. All they did was, like 10 guys who were, what you call homeless, so-called, houseless people around in the alley, and they all say, well, we going around there and ask the manager of the warehouse, can we sleep in that empty portion tonight? See, now they all agreed on finally doing that, but the decision is going to be made by the manager of the warehouse. They feel good about all of them agreeing on asking the manager for one thing. That's what the agreement was, not making the decision, well, we all going around there and sleep in that warehouse tonight. See what I mean?
Yes, sir.
That's two different things altogether. No, we all agree that we all going around there and ask the manager, can we sleep in that empty room in the warehouse tonight? Rather than us go around there one at a time. We all going together. And ask, not demand.
And really, if you got to go and ask this white person to get permission, you don't really need to ask
You
them.
could have
non-white
just
people.
you could have gone around there one at a time. See, that's what I mean by the United Independent thing. See, I didn't need no committee for this. You know, my feet are cold, my hands are cold. You know, I need to get in from the weather. I'm going right there and knock on the door and say, Mr. Phillips, that portion of the warehouse down there is empty. Ain't nothing down there for nobody to steal or nothing like that, but it is warm down there. Can you let me spend the night down there? You know? Yes or no? You know, right. In fact, if I go down there with a committee, he definitely might say no. Which is all asking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you get more done if Mr. Phillips got 40 warehouses and each person individually goes to each one of the 40. Just, you know, just one or two at a time. Now, you spread out. But see, black people got an idea of what we call power. We think that a crowd is power. That's why we like to assemble. Man, there was 800 people at that meeting. Now, that's what we call power. That's 800 helpless people. That's what that is. 800 beggars in one place. You do better begging when it's just each individual begging in different places. That way you get more. Because there ain't a whole lot of you in one place. We know that from being ghettoized. Get a whole bunch of black people in one place, that's when everything starts getting cut off. But when you got them scattered all over the place, you get more benefits. See, that's what codification is about. That's the United Independent concept. Not assembling black people all in one place. You definitely don't want to do that. You want to operate so that each black person is a country within himself. One black person, one nation. Another black person 800 miles away doing the same thing. That black person is a nation. So what you have, according to codification, is a United Nations of black people, because each black person is a nation within him or herself. That's a difficult concept for black people to wrap their minds around. I've been trying to do it for 40 years. But it's a very simple formula, but we're just not used to it. See, because we were always chained together. That's why we like to be in prisons and whatnot, because that's where all the rest of the black people are. See, black people would be terrified of going to prison. The prison is just full of nothing but white folks. I mean, you know, you in the cell block, you don't nigga in there. See, we at home when we're in there with homeboy. Hey, man, you promise you going to give me, pay me back for the cigarettes now. Don't keep jiving with me. See, we love that. The sound of another black voice, even if he's threatening me. But see, when it's a twang, that's terrifying. We can't handle the twang. Hey, fella, I done told you once. I ain't telling you again. Now, we don't want to be faced with that all the time. There ain't no other black people around to make us feel safe. Yeah. They're all looking at you with steely blue eyes, you know.
Wow.
I don't know what they put you in here for, but you think you're going to get anything from us, you might as well forget it. Now, you faced with that for the next 10 years? Yeah, you missed the ghetto.
Wow. I'm just curious, how exactly or when did you come to that conclusion that non-white people, that was something that would really bother us if we ended up being stuck just around white people?
Yeah, see, because we don't have a code to handle it. We got a ghetto code.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got the tattoos and the 9mm. I mean, we know what to do. We know what to do with each other. We don't know what to do when we're isolated with a whole bunch of white folks. And we need a code for handling that. See what I mean? That's one thing I learned being on that mountain in Japan, because there's mostly white guys up there. And you know what? I got along with them because I had a code. See, I learned real quick that that's all I needed. Put me around any bunch of white folks, I don't have no problem. When they use the word nigger, which is what they did, I don't even flinch. I don't bat an eye. Why? Codification. That's the only difference between me and the other black guy. We're both black. But why is it that I acted different from the way he acted? He goes berserk. I was calm all the time. Now, because I'm smarter or stronger or whatever, no. Codification. I'm going according to a code. When white people say nigger around me, I don't flinch. I don't bat an eye. All you got to do is just tell yourself that. You know, you don't have to get permission from nobody or nothing. You just tell yourself that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to even look up. Whatever I'm doing, I'm not going to even look around. Keep doing just what I'm doing. Because they're saying it when I'm not around anyway.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? I already know that. See? Understanding. I understand racism. I'm not expecting them to act any other way. They can walk around and say nigger all day. It won't bother me out. Not at all. None. Nigger, 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 nigger. All day long. It will not bother me. I mean, they can try it, you know. They can come in and announce, well, Fuller, yesterday I counted the times I said nigger. It came to 312. I'm going to double that today. Help yourself. Triple it, you know. See, it's a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Codification is a mindset. But it's orchestrated. It's precision.
Mm. And you said when you got codified in terms of how to deal with white people saying nigger, that stopped them from saying it. That when they saw you weren't
It will. They will come up and apologize without even you asking them for one. You start breaking bad and calling them whitey and all this old kind of stuff and all like that. Hey, it has just the opposite effect. Found that out real early. They're the ones tiptoeing. When they use the word nigger, they start tiptoeing from then on. Start wanting to do you favors. Because you didn't react. Not at all. None. See, and that what's that's telling them is that this guy's black. I don't know whether he's a nigger or not. You know? In fact, I don't know what in the hell he is, you know? Other than weird, you know? And that's one thing that the white supremacists don't like. You don't like to be able not to be able to figure you out. See, weird niggas, I mean, no, you don't want them on the plantation or nothing. And see, there ain't nothing more weirder than a black person on his own wavelength. Got his own way of thinking. Doesn't fit in nowhere. What we might call loosely kind of in his own world. Man, the things that you think he'll react to, he don't react at all. And he come up with some strange things when he starts talking. It's out of nowhere. and very seldom talks about anything unless it pertains to something. That's a weird nigga. You know? You can say anything around him. He just listens and looks at you. Sometimes looks like he's looking through you. You know? So back on the plantation days, they got rid of him. They sold him down the river on the next shipment. They put him off on some other plantation owner. Yeah. Said, well, why did you sell him? You know, I don't know. I just got a bad feeling about it. Said, well, what does he do? He does what the other niggas do. He does what he's told. But there's something strange about him, you know. He's not laughing. He ain't playing the tambourine, you know. He didn't get mad and cry, you know, when I talk to him like I did. He just looks at me like he's looking in another world. You know? Last year I had 3 of them like that. I got rid of all of them.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. See? Now, the reason I say that, because when I started acting codified, and it wasn't an act, I was just following the code. You know? What's the best thing to do? What's the best thing not to do? You know? What's the worst thing I can do? You know? But usually I was always looking for the best thing to do and say. And I started doing it. I didn't even have a name for it then. I didn't call it a code. I just called it, you know, this is my way of doing things. You know? Because I knew I had to do something. And then I noticed that white guys started being attracted to me. They wanted to talk to me. But see, I wouldn't talk to nobody about nothing unless it was about something of substance. See what I mean? And then I, you know, little by little, things started coming to me about how everything worked. I started settling down. I wasn't jumpy all the time, you know. I wasn't walking around feeling like somebody's going to say something to hurt my feelings. I mean, you know, I had the position of, man, give it your best shot. You know? I mean, when it comes to trying to hurt my feelings, spend 2 weeks trying to think of everything that you can possibly say to hurt my feelings, and then come and unload at once, you know. And give it all you got and see how I react, because I'm going to react the same way, whether you say one thing or 10,000. See, that's a code.